I've got some a little blurb prepared that I'll just run through. A lot of it is repetition from what's on the website and the email that we sent out. But just starting out with the rider designations. Okay, so basically what this is, guys, is so that we can identify you in race, and so also that we can provide some quick results at the end. So what you're going to need to do before the race is go into your Wahoo, into your account, and change your surname to include your current surname plus either 3, 6, 12 or 24, depending on which championship you're doing, a P or a C to designate whether you're doing the pro or the community event, and then your gender, so an M or an F for male or female, so that we can categorize you in that way as well. So as an example, if I was to be doing the 3-hour event, my surname in RGT would be Acres 3. Let's say I'm doing a community event, so it'd be Acres 3 C, and then I think it'd be an M at the end, so it'd be Acres 3 C M. And then we just be able to use that very simple designation to keep track of who's who and what they're up to. Okay. What else? So that's the rider designations. Sorry, I didn't see that. That's the rider designations. In terms of joining the event, we will circulate an RGT joining link shortly before the event. We're not going to be sending it out too early. Just because we want to make sure everyone's signed up, everyone's got it. We will give plenty of time beforehand, so don't worry, so you can get everything sorted. But it will probably be on the morning of the event, okay? So don't panic if we haven't sent it before then. There's a particular reason why we're doing that, which I won't share, but there's a particular reason why we send it out. It'll be in the morning of the event, UK time. So you will have plenty of time, but it's just not going to be days in advance. The server will go live about 30 minutes before the start of the race, and all the 3, 6, 12 and 24-hour events will start at the same time, 6 p.m. GMT. So that server for all of those events will go live 30 minutes before, and we're all on the same server. Okay, we're all on the same race. So you'll be able to join the start pen by pressing that Ride Now button, which will go live 30 minutes or so before. Remember to recalibrate your trainer, particularly if you're doing the pro event. You will also need to film yourself doing that. I'll talk about that again in a second. For the pro event, you also need to do a weigh-in video beforehand too. Both of them need to be before the event, guys. I must stress that. Okay? And for both videos, just help us out a little bit and just say your name, the time at which you're doing it, and maybe even say what the numbers say. It might not. It's important we're able to see what the numbers on the device are saying. But just help us out a little bit, guys. And when you're saying the time, it could be in your local time. Okay, don't worry about that. Okay, because we know pretty much where everyone's coming from. I really, really recommend joining the server, the event, and sitting in the start pen as soon as the 30 minutes arrives. 30 minutes out arrives. Get yourself on, get yourself ready. And just make sure your sensors and your trainer, etc., are all hooked up, because then you have time to kind of sort things if something's not right. And really, I really recommend trying it. You've obviously had a go at this event, but there's tons of free events in Wahoo RGT. There's a whole calendar of free events. We do a Monday evening session, so if you want to come to that because you're familiar with me, or maybe you want to avoid it because it's me, I don't know. But yeah, go try some of the free events. It's an opportunity for you to get your sensors set up and just kind of get used to the whole process. Just one quick thing, when you do join, if you're joining on a desktop, one of the things that I found is that if you leave the desktop, I'm on a Windows PC, if I leave it still and idle for too long, the program sometimes freezes, and it's a real pain in the ass. So I do suggest just making sure you're all ready to go. You've got your water bottles, you've got your food, everything's all set before that 30 minutes out. Okay, so then you can just focus on what you need to do and get warmed up. If it does freeze, don't panic. You should be able to rejoin absolutely fine before race start. We've got I think 3 or 4 videos now up on our YouTube channel. The link for which can be found on the vWTTC page on our website. So you go to the website, go to the event page, basically you'll find the YouTube link through there. We've got videos on how to join the event, so taking you step by step through the process of joining an RGT event. How to retrieve the fit file at the end, which I'll talk about in a second. We've also got, there's a video on the team time trials if anyone's doing those. But ultimately, guys, if you have tech issues, RGT are the best people for that, particularly if it's right up to the event. We're going to be super busy, and we will always do our best to help people. But yeah, we're going to be getting everything, making sure everything's working ourselves. So just, there are another place for tech stuff. There are some really good Facebook user groups for RGT. So I'd dig those out, because if you've got any tech questions, there's a bunch of guys in there who are super responsive, super knowledgeable. There's also some of the dev guys from RGT on there. And if you've got any real quick questions that you need an answer to, those Facebook user groups for Wahoo RGT are super useful, and everyone in there is really lovely and helpful. So recommend getting on those in advance. But ultimately RGT are the people to sort out if you have an RGT issue. There's very limited amount that we can do. If it's not within our current knowledge level, there's a limited amount we can do. So you might want to cut out the middleman and go straight to RGT if you have issues with RGT itself. As I say, I test it all well in advance. In terms of the race itself, all the solo events will start at 6 PM GMT, like I said. And if you can't start on time, just bear in mind you have quite a short window in which you can join the events once it's started. Riley, you might want to correct me, but I think it's sort of 10-15 minutes, isn't it?
The race events, if you can't start at the start time, then you're out of the race.
Oh, is that
so
right?
you need to start the race at the beginning. If you aren't actually going to be able to ride, if for some reason you've had a last minute blip and something's happened, you need to make that last minute toilet break, that comfort break, get your avatar into the game, apply a little bit of power, and it'll give you that 20-minute window to go away and come back again. But make sure that your avatar is in the game at the start of the event. You can, during the event, pause for any minute during the game. Now, it is around about 25 minutes that you can pause for, but I would not push it for more than 20 minutes. I'd put 20 minutes as the hard cutoff time to get yourself back to the game. So you can have that 20-minute window to go and do your comfort breaks and get back, or to go and refill a water bottle. And you should then have a little bit of a comfort zone where if things overrun, things go wrong, you can still get back. But ideally, work to even 15, just to make sure, because you don't want to be putting all that effort in and then getting back to the game and realize that you've been logged out. RGT does this for, numerous reasons, but basically what happens in games is that people leave their avatar in game and they never come back to it, and it just uses up memory space. And with hundreds of thousands of people using it, those little small amounts of memory, they quickly add up, so they've had to put in this cut-up period.
I think if any of that sounds a bit harsh, guys, just think about it. If it was a real world event, if you didn't turn up on time, chances are you wouldn't be able to get a race. So so just be kind if something does go wrong. But as Roddy says, if you halfway, you can need a comfort break, just bear in mind there is that server cut off around 20 minutes. I personally would set a timer for 15 minutes. I wouldn't take any chances. Hopefully you should be able to get everything done in terms of your break in that time.
So we're trying to make it. Sorry, we're trying to make it clear to everyone, trying to make it so that it is the smoothest experience for you. You don't get these little surprises. That's why we're trying to, and we might be making it a bit clear cut and simple. But we definitely don't want you to have those issues during the event. And would, again, some of you have turned up and taken part in this event now. We would recommend getting on RGT between now and the event as much as you can, just getting used to the platform and playing with it. Rich mentioned the community. There is a website called rgtdb.com. So it's rgtdb.com. That's RGT database, basically. And on there are hundreds of events going off all the time. And it's a really easy way to click through go onto the website. You can click through and it'll log you straight into your user portal on RGT, and you can sign up for the events really quickly and easily. Just a great little facility to use. Not going to be any long events on there. The majority of the events on there are shorter events, but then there are some more endurance-based events. And again, get involved if you're liking RGT and you're liking what it's doing and helping you with. There's quite a few longer events that go on over the weekends. There's quite a few Everestings and things. You know, you guys are into longer events and more punishing rides. There's Everestings going on quite regularly between the community, and the RGT users is a good place. The Facebook group RGT users is a good place to find out about things like that.
Yeah. So check out the user groups, guys. Basically, there's a really great community. You know, that's how we built the vast majority of our relationships in order to run these events. It's come out of that. So back onto the racing. Drafting dynamics will be turned off, so don't worry if you have somebody on your wheel. They will not be gaining an advantage. So don't worry about that. It's one of the fantastic things that we can do. We don't have to tell people to be 12 meters back or anything like that. Just ride. Nobody else is going to be able to affect your race. No one's going to be able to take you out. It's brilliant. In terms of finishing, you will only be given a result for the championship you evented. So one of the questions we've had is, can you keep on riding? Well, for two reasons. One, we need that fit file straight after the event. So you've got an hour to get that to us. We aren't able to. We don't. Unfortunately, we aren't in a place where we can, where people who maybe doing the 24-hour event are also eligible for the 3-hour event. We're just not in a position to do that this year, unfortunately. Hopefully in the future, but not at the moment. You'll only be given a result for the championship you've entered. So you do need to end your ride as close to the end of that championship duration as possible. So if you're doing the 3-hour event, end your ride dead on 3 hours if you can. That'll help us with the result collection in particular. We will get the exact distance from your fit file, but please do help us out with the result collection process, because basically what this comes down to is that this is a time-based event, whereas a vast majority of events are distance-based. And where at a distance-based event, the process will be largely automatic, whereas because it's time-based, it's actually quite a manual process. So anything you guys can do to help us collect results ultimately will mean that we can get results back to you more quickly. And then just going on to collecting results, as I say, you need to send your fit file within an hour of the event duration finishing. So if you've done the 3-hour event, within an hour of that event finishing. It's super easy. There's a video up on our YouTube page again, which you can get through to on our website, showing how to retrieve the fit file. It's very straightforward. Basically, you just go into your account, the ride history, and then you prompt RGT to send you an email with that file, and then you just forward that final file to us to info@theonlineeventscompany.com. Okay, and then we'll take care of the rest. If you have any issues with that, guys, say like you've got a power cut or something, miraculously something goes crazy and you just can't, or maybe RGT will be slow to send that file to you or something, or check it out, you just can't find it. Don't just drop us a message. As long as we know that you're making an effort, I think we can be pretty accommodating. So don't stress. We're always here to help. We do our best. And we're not mean people. We obviously, because it's a big event, it's a championship, there are certain kind of rules we have to put in place, but we are reasonable people, and we will always try and help you as best we can. we had a few questions about eBio Passport. Guys, we are responsible for eBio Passport. It's a fantastic resource. It's really great that it even exists. It's not necessarily the most user-friendly site though, so please do take some time getting familiar with it. They are an independent body. We don't control them or how they collect the information. In essence, though, what you need to do is fill in a profile, note all the key data about your trainer or power meter, serial number, all that sort of stuff, which is really important. And then when you're after the event, you'll be uploading the same fit file that you sent to us. So don't delete that email from RGT because you'll need that fit file to upload it. That's for verification purposes, not result collection purposes. So you're using the same file twice, but for different purposes, and both of which are very necessary, I'm afraid. We do hope to streamline things in the future, but it's just the way things are right now. You'll need to fill in power metrics and your peak powers, etc. They can provide evidence. That's to help with corroboration if necessary. If you're not familiar with peak powers, on the React website we have a free resource called the Power Ranking Project, and with some free sessions on there to help you collect your peak power data, and just some information about what it all is. Essentially, your peak powers are your personal bests over specific durations. So 5 seconds, basically your max sprint, 1 minute, so that's your anaerobic capacity, 5 minute your VO2 max, and then your FTP. So basically they're kind of key fitness metrics. This all might sound super complicated, but it's actually kind of very simple once you take away some of the jargon. So have a look at the React Power Ranking Project if you aren't familiar with that. The video, you'll then need to upload the video, the pre-event weigh-in video and the pre-event calibration video. They will also go up to the Bio Passport. You also do need to join the vWTTC Strava Club, which is available again from the event website. This is to help us with provisional results, and it's also just another way that we can check everybody is who they say they are, if necessary. And just to repeat that, the eBio Passport, etc., that's for the pro event. If you're doing a community event, you don't need to mess around with the eBio Passport, okay? But if you're doing a community event, do make sure, I would still suggest recalibrating your trailer beforehand, because you want an accurate power output, essentially, because that can go either way, can't it? It can tell you that you're not putting out as much power as you actually are, so you want to make sure that trainer is giving you accurate power, basically. In terms of results, we do hope to get the provisional results for both community and pro events out as quickly as possible, of course. But do know initially they will be provisional for the pro event, at least, because we will then need to verify things, and that is quite a manual process, as I've explained. How quick we can do that depends on how quickly people get their fit files to us, essentially. So I really would be grateful if you could send them straight after the event. That would be appreciated. It just means that we might be able to get a bit more sleep eventually. And then a reminder that we do have a live feed running throughout the event, all the details for which will be up on the website soon. And that's for the entire event. We will be doing a pre-event show and a few cool interviews that we've got lined up. And we'll also be doing some rider check-ins. We're focusing on some select riders that we've isolated. But if you'd like to have a chat with us, you're going to be very welcome to do so. And so just give us a shout if you at some point would like to chat to us. It doesn't have to be before the event, it could be during the event. You just drop us an email and say, mind if I have a quick chat? I'll be there offering any coaching advice if anybody wants it. And we also have a direct line into the Total Endurance Nutrition guys again. If you've got any kind of last minute fueling or hydration questions, we'll be able to hopefully get some quick advice out of them. So yeah, come have a chat with us if you fancy it. Or maybe you're just bored and you just want something else to focus on. you'd be very welcome. Yeah, so we'll do a pre-event show, we'll then do a bit of commentary, and then after that we'll be doing some update shows, particularly around the finish of each of the events. A schedule for the live stream will be made available next few days, but yeah, maybe something to have in the background, you know, have the live stream up, because I'm sure Riley will be able to talk a little bit more about it, but we're basically going to have an automatic camera shifting between riders, so you'll be able to keep track of where other people are, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, so, well, 2 points there I'd like to just add on to. As Rich said, if you can end your ride as close to the termination of your championship, so, you know, 3-hour championship, bang on 3 hours would be fantastic, you know, as close to that 3-hour period as you can. We do encourage everybody to have a cool down and you know, observe your normal routine. You can jump straight from the event onto one of the real roads that are provided for free in RGT. So after you've left the event, head back to the home page, and then you'll see on the real roads, there'll be a couple of roads that you can jump straight into and, you know, run your cool down through those, or you can go into an event or whatever you wanted to do. But yeah, that's one thing. On the live stream, we will be running on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Twitch of the three probably offers the best quality. Facebook has an issue with where they usually cut the stream off. I think it's around about 6 hours. So the first 6 hours of the event will be covered on Facebook as well. Facebook will then die off and it'll just be existing on YouTube. And I don't think Twitch has a limit either. I think Twitch continues. So yeah, feel free to jump in on those. That will be coming out via vCycling News, which is a side project that covers a lot of the streaming and the events on the RGT platform. I think that's all the notes that I had to mention. It's, yeah, again, just reiterating, get used to the platform, get used to signing up on your devices, get used to connecting them, and if you can, jump in on some of the other events in between now and then, just so you're familiar with it. And on the day, get yourself in there nice and early. Make sure that you keep applying a little bit of power just every now and again, just so that you can see that it's being registered by the platform, and you should be good to go on the start line. Is there anyone out there with any specific questions at all? And silence. Bored everybody to death.
Yeah, there has been a lot of us chatting. Sorry, guys.
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, sure.
I've been using a different trainer in the Swift platform, and I purchased a new trainer for this event, and it's a wheel-on trainer. And I noticed my power is really low. My speed in the game right now seems good, but my power seems awfully low. What do I need to be concerned with anything if I've calibrated this trainer beforehand?
So that can be one of the downsides of it. So essentially, one of the issues you can get is kind of where the power is detected. So, you know, it comes back to power meters. You know, the best, in my opinion, the best possible power meters you can get are the pedal power meters, because they're it's direct application of power. And then, you know, if you've got like a hub power meter, etc., you get drivetrain power loss, etc. So, yeah. So with the wheel-on trainers, they're not always. They're perhaps not as good as a direct drive.
Okay, so I do have a direct drive, so am I better off using my direct drive for the race?
I would have said so, yeah. Yeah, if you can use it for the race. Wheel on, you also get a lot of, especially on longer events, you get a lot of loss in heat. And you might find that for, you know, a long period of time, I've had it before, my wheel on trainer, I've burst tires when they're just heat build-up from consistent use. Okay. So yeah, certainly I think you'll find it better for the direct drive. And I know that when I changed, I mean, you know what it's like yourself, but I changed from a wheel-on turbo trainer to a direct drive turbo trainer. My power went up by about 20 watts just from the change. And then there's the fact that the coasting was so much better. You lose so much speed in the wheel on the wheel-on trainer. It slows down so much quicker. I was expending power just to get the inertia back in the wheel. with the wheel, with the direct drive trainer. I saved that much power by, I could coast for a little while, and it was so much easier.
Okay, I have used a wheel-on trainer in 2 24-hour events with no issues. So
Well,
that's why. That's
so
why
it's just the power I put out. That's what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll probably
I guess I can wear out my direct drive trainer. I was hoping to wear out this wheel on, but okay.
Well, if you're comfortable with it, if you're happy with it, then stick with it. Yeah, I think you'd go faster on the direct drive trainer, but if you're comfortable with the wheel on, it's personal preference.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with both. It's not an issue. I just wanted to make sure I get the most distance out of my ride.
Yeah.
And it's gonna, be the wheel on or the direct drive, and that's what we have to do. Because otherwise, I'm just gonna start to feel cheated, like I didn't really have my best performance.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I do have another trainer that I can compare my ride with my last 24-hour person, smart to wheel on or direct drive. So it's all good.
Yeah, for anyone that is using a wheel-on trainer, make sure you've got a trainer tire on. They're not particularly expensive. I wouldn't use a normal butyl or latex sort of inner tube. Sorry, not inner tubes. Yeah, I would not use a normal kind of road tire out on a wheel-on turbo, because it will wear down quite quickly. So yeah, make sure you've got a trainer tire on. So yeah, it doesn't go pop basically. And they're usually very good and not expensive.
No, they're not.
Is there any other questions for anyone?
Only one on what we've just done now. How do we say this? It said end of group ride and give me a list.
Yeah, so how do you save it? So basically what will happen is, I'll just show you. So you end the ride, we'd like to finish the ride. You can upload directly, you can set RGT to upload your data straight to Training Peaks. I think you can also send it to Strava, I can't remember.
Yeah, Strava or Training Peaks is the default too. Yeah,
and then so you just end your ride, and then it will push those, if you've already set that up, those auto, it will push it up. And then just quickly, whilst we're on the sort of subject, if you go to my account, you go to your ride history, you can see the ride that we've just done is already in here, and then you can get that ride data. So pressing that get ride data, that will send you an email with the fit file. Okay, does that help, Brian?
That does seem. Yeah. Yes.
Cool.
Yes, that's fine. I'll do that now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so just to clarify as well, it's Richard. There is, if you go into my account, you can, from my account within the app, you can link the RGT directly to your Strava or Training Peaks accounts. Yes. And I think perhaps that's a link that some people have missed off, is the association that you can do through the two programs there. But even if you've not associated it with your Strava account, it will still go into the history in RGT, and you can still email it to yourself. So it does. Might take you a minute to find it, but it doesn't disappear.
Yeah, your ride will be saved. Don't worry about it. And yeah, this is the my account area. So you got the ride history on the right. If you select the ride, you've got the get ride data at the bottom. That will send that email to you. And then at the bottom left is the link services, so you can link Strava or Training Peaks. So basically, for the vast majority of stuff, you go to my account area and then edit info. This is where you edit your surname. So this is where I put 3CM or whatever for the rider designation. Okay, just so people know what it is we're talking about.
No problem.
Cool. Any other questions?
The only other statement I was going to make was I listened to the nutrition, which was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
When they started talking about caffeine, unless people know what they're doing with caffeine, certainly I know when I'm doing Ironman, we always insist that people don't start taking it before 7 hours before the end. You know?
Yeah. I think. Sorry, go on, Brian.
So anybody doing 24, maybe a coffee as they start or whatever caffeine they're taking as they start, and then at 13 hours that's when they want to start caffeine, I would say.
Yeah, I think is the point you're trying to make, Brian, is that to do with, you know, it's going to essentially cause a bowel movement? Is that what you're?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's a really good point, guys. And you know, you are going to need to go to the toilet at some point. So you basically, I think, just got to be very strategic with this stuff. And if it's not something that you use a lot, then I'll just err on the side of caution. I know that so I'm an Ironman triathlete and coach myself, and we give similar sort of advice, because unless they're particularly elite athletes and really kind of know what they're doing, you can have issues, and it's not enjoyable.
Knowledge of your own body is needed.
Yeah.
I know I get similar issues when I'm taking energy gels. You know, it can just upset my stomach when I'm taking frequent energy gels. So yeah, I think advice is great, but then you can know yourself a little bit better as well. It's a compromise between.
Just had a question come through on Zoom about seeing the live results. Sorry, let me just get back. Where and how do we see the leaderboard during the event? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Riley, but basically that's something we're going to cover off in our update shows. There is the live leaderboard in RGT, but I don't think you can cycle through it in a race, can you?
So as we're going through, I'll be covering on the live stream. I'll be picking out athletes as we go along. So generally, the idea is that we'll just be sort of rotating through the athletes on a fairly steady rotation. As we hit the athlete, it will also show then their distance and their time. So, you know, all their metrics that will go through as we hit each individual athlete. There's on the left-hand side, there's a rider list, which shows their ranking in the race, and it will just rotate through. So we should be able to see fairly regularly who's in first, second, and third place. Obviously, it's something to be slightly wary of, and you need to be. It's one of the reasons we've asked people to put the annotation into their names. In the first 3 hours, the top of the leaderboard is going to be filled with the 3-hour guys. The first 6 hours is going to be the 6-hour guys. The first 12 hours is going to be it's likely to be. I mean, hopefully there'll be someone who's winning all the classes through to the 24-hour. But pay attention to the annotation at the end of people's names. So if you're in the 24-hour race, you don't want to be chasing somebody in the 3-hour race for the first 3 hours and burning yourself out.
So basically,
but we will.
Watching the live stream will help you keep track of that, and also there is a remote app for the phone, so if you're running it on another device, there is a remote app for RGT, and within that app you can see the riders list. And so I know when I'm racing personally, that's what I use to keep track of where people are, if I have the energy to do that. So yeah, check out the RGT remote app, you can run it in a practice event, and you'll be able to see the riders list and where people are, and you can just scroll through it. So it's kind of like that's one way that you can keep track of it. If say for instance our cycling through riders is not fast enough for you on the live stream.
So if you're looking for that, it's either in the Google Store or the Apple the Google Play Store or the Apple iOS Store, and it's referred to as Wahoo RGT Remote. There is an option, just so you don't get confused, because you need to mention that it's the remote, because there's a full Wahoo RGT app available on those stores as well, and it's the remote that you need to look for. And just a little bit of a tip and advice is to ensure that your touch screen phone or tablet is out of the way of any sweat droplets, and you aren't on the main screen within that, because you can end your ride through the main screen. And I've not done it recently, but in my early days of using Wahoo, I did have a few instances of getting a rogue sweat splash on the screen, and unfortunately bringing my ride to an early termination, which I was not very happy about on a number of occasions. But I've learned from my mistakes.
Can I throw something into the future? You know, you've got like the 6-hour PM and that. It would be useful to lots of people, I think, if you then also had the age category in there. Like
Right.
the old people over 60 or over 50, it's nice to know who you're chasing quite easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see whether you're beating the young whippersnappers then, Brian, or they can look and see, Brian's off again.
Yeah, I like to see.
Well, so I mean, one of the things you can do just on that is if you go back up to the sign up, there is the list of participants, and I believe that's categorized according to age categories. So you could just find your age category and just have a quick mental note of who else is in your category, maybe. That's one.
Thankfully, I know most of the people in my category. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not a lot. We're either dead or we're still cycling.
For me, it would just be an unhelpful reminder that I'm no longer as young as I used to be. And I perhaps don't want to know the age, as they're blasting past me. Cool. Any other points, questions that you want to raise? You can always email us, guys. info@theonlineeventcompany.com. That's probably the best place to reach us.
One other little note that just sprang into my mind is if everyone can, if you can add info@theonlineeventscompany.com to your address books. We've just had a couple of people who've mentioned that they've missed emails because they've been captured by the spam filter. If you're adding us to your approved senders list and adding us to your address book, that should help to alleviate that. It's not been a lot of people because we don't send spam basically, so it's just that because there are mass emails sent out to a number of people that some of the more aggressive spam filters do pick it up as being spam. So just if you add us to those address books and to the not spam filter, then you should receive them more regularly and more efficiently without having to fish around in that spam folder.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. Okay, guys. Well, thanks very much for your time and thanks for your questions and your attention.
I think we just had a message come through from who was it that she sent that through? We've discussed where to see the leaderboard during the event, and B Schwartz. I'll look out for your email, Schwartz, and I'll respond to you later on after we've finished. If we can get back to the meeting now. Yeah, awesome.
Okay, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks very much, everybody, and best of luck with your race, guys. I hope it goes well for you, and hopefully you enjoy it. But make sure everybody plans.